Delphinium Hayes could identify the goodness or wickedness of a person by their scent. With the slightest passing whiff, she immediately knew someone's most admirable or weediest characteristic. Generosity had the full-bodied boldness of lilies. Kindness possessed the reserved yet intense fragrance of pink azaleas. Humility smelled of lilies of the valley. Those who had a great sense of humor or who were natural storytellers conspicuously reeked of poppies. And people who were good at keeping secrets were rose-scented. When the smell of rhododendron wafted around a person, it was a dead giveaway that the individual was vain and selfish. Bullies who insisted on getting their way stank of onion weed. Liars were always oleander, and wisteria sprang up from hypochondriacs. Delphinium used her ability to her advantage. She knew which buyer at her flower shop would be good to work with and which would cheat her. She had the dearest and most trustworthy friends, and customers marveled at her knack for giving them exactly what they were seeking. Her acute sensitivity was her intuition and guide, telling her someone's true character before they even spoke. This perception never failed. Until it did. Lugging a ceramic planter she'd found in her favorite store, Fine Antiques, Heirlooms, and Collectibles, Delphinium calculated the number of steps she had yet to go before reaching her own shop and wondered if her sweaty grip would hold out. Her tangled mass of red hair refused to be tamed in the oppressive summer humidity and escaped in corkscrews from her bun, making the center look like a matted nest. She only needed bird eggs burrowed within it to be the perfect home to a family of chickadees. Though her namesake flower came from the azure shade of her eyes, her hair, compassion, and intuition came from her beloved grandmother, Annie. Delphinium could still picture the old woman's white hair springing out of her head like fusilli pasta, making a near-audible boing as she moved. Delphinium smiled wistfully as she adjusted her grip. How her grandmother would have loved to go antique shopping and find such a treasure. She let out a heavy sigh. The lingering grief from the absence of her kindred spirit pressed on her chest. Annie was the only person who had truly understood her. She not only believed in Delphinium's ability, but celebrated it. Annie had known what it was like to be different, or at least to feel that way. She had lived with a form of synesthesia, where she saw color and even tasted flavor for every letter and number. The letter A was red, O was white, P was orange, and E was teal. The number 5 was blue, and 2 was green. When her grandmother bit into a brownie, she tasted purple. All the mundane components within ordinary life were an assault on the senses, an exploding rainbow always in front of her eyes or on her tongue. As a little girl, Delphinium had wanted to be just like Annie and was devastated when K didn't appear magenta or when she couldn't taste saffron when she saw 47. However, her consolation prize of genetics, or her gifting, as Annie insisted on calling it, was her ability to smell fragrances that were nearly imperceptible to everyone else. Scents not created by perfume or soap, but what a person emitted naturally.